What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and I have a very, good friend of mine here. Not only a guest, but a good friend of mine for quite some years. The one and only football Pharoah. How are you feeling today?
Glad to be here, Dom. Doing all right. Hello, everybody. And I'm glad to be here back on the channel to discuss some international football action going on this summer, especially in the CONCACAF region. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we will be primarily talking about the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers that will be wrapping up in June. And we will also be talking about the CONCACAF Nations League finals, the inaugural CONCACAF Nations League final that has Mexico, Costa Rica, Honduras, and the USA taking part to see who will be crowned the first champions of the CONCACAF Nations League. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So, Football Pharaoh, man, the last video we did was a banger. It was a banger. See what I'm saying? People loved it, and it's doing well still relevant, where we did a tier list and everything, and we spoke about the chances of every team to make the 2022 World Cup. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to break down the teams from group to group and see who's already out, who's still in with a shot, and whatever little battles we have in each group. So without further ado, let's get into this. All right, so we're going to start with Group A, where we have Antigua and Barbuda topping that group currently. El Salvador second with 4 points. Grenada third with 3. Montserrat fourth with 2. And the U.S. Virgin Islands without a point. So if we go down here and we look at the matches that was played so far, Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat played to a 2-2 draw. El Salvador and Grenada. El Salvador beat Grenada 2-0. Antigua beat U.S. Virgin Islands 3-0. Montserrat still unbeaten with a 1-1 draw against El Salvador. And Grenada picked up a 1-0 win over the U.S. Virgin Islands. So on June 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 8th, there will be games completed in this group. And we have Montserrat coming up against the U.S. Virgin Islands, Antigua against Grenada, U.S. Virgin Islands against El Salvador, and Grenada, Montserrat, and El Salvador against Antigua and Barbuda. So, Football Pharaoh, what was your predictions for Group A, if you could recall? Could you recall your predictions for Group A?
Yeah, I believe I had El Salvador finishing top of this group. In a group containing a bunch of island nations, at least a couple of them being minnows. El Salvador on paper were the favorites, and they're looking to make it back to the final round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. In this case, the octagonal. They haven't made it to the last round of qualifying in at least the last couple of cycles. So, yeah, there's not much to say about the likes of U.S. Virgin Islands or even Antigua and Barbuda, even though they've been somewhat of a little bit of a surprise in this group, being undefeated. But, yeah, I had El Salvador initially, and I think I still have them. How about you?
Yeah, I do have El Salvador top in this group, with Grenada coming in second, Antigua third, Montserrat fourth, and the U.S. Virgin Islands fifth. So right now, if you look at the remaining matches, El Salvador plays the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is a good team to play. I expect them to beat the U.S. Virgin Islands. Antigua and Grenada, this will be a pivotal clash. But if you look at the Montserrat U.S. Virgin Islands game, where Montserrat could actually play the U.S. Virgin Islands on June 2nd and go right to the top with a victory. You see that, right?
Yes.
So they could go right to the top with a victory and put themselves in a very good position to move on, because only one team from each group will move on, because the winner of this group will face the winner of Group F and try for that final. What is there? What, 2 places? Is there 2 places left in the octagonal?
There's 3.
Three. Pardon me. My mistake. It's been so long. You know what I'm saying? There's cobwebs all over my CONCACAF brain right now.
It's all
But
good.
three places to contest the likes of the USA, Mexico, Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Honduras waiting, and it's a hot battle in all these groups for those places. So, what are your thoughts on we discussed Montserrat. I think Montserrat will beat the U.S. Virgin Islands, and then you have this game between Grenada and Antigua. If this ends in a draw, that will be perfect for Montserrat, because if they're able to pick up a big victory against the U.S. Virgin Islands, that'll be good for them. But then you have a situation where El Salvador now plays the U.S. Virgin Islands. They should win and go up to 7 points. So Antigua needs a win against Grenada to keep on top. Grenada needs a win against Antigua, and they could go to 6 points. So this group is poised. This group is very, very poised. And then you have the Grenada Montserrat game, and then the El Salvador Antigua and Bermuda match could be like a final in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think will ultimately come out on top this group? You still think El Salvador will come out on top?
I still think it's going to be El Salvador, because we could be looking at a scenario where Grenada, Montserrat, and the Antiguans continue to pick points off each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, Montserrat would benefit from a draw between Grenada and Antigua, but also El Salvador would as well, especially with their next game being against the U.S. Virgin Islands. And if this group comes down to the wire and it comes down to a tiebreaker like goal differential, if El Salvador puts up a real beating on the U.S. Virgin Islands, that could help see them through as well. But those clashes between Antigua and Grenada and then Grenada Montserrat are going to be huge. I do want to say, as far as other teams in this group against the U.S. Virgin Islands go, Grenada really, I think, shot themselves in the foot by just getting a 1-0 victory over the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
I saw that result back in March. I was a little bit surprised. I thought they would win 3-4-0 at least. That could come back to haunt them if they were to miss out on a small margin,
Because Grenada has been playing well, making it to the Gold Cup. So they will be in the Gold Cup next time around, coming in June. And very surprising. And they lost. They lost one of their games. So they definitely on the back foot here. When you look at what Montserrat has done, El Salvador and Antigua and Barbuda. In terms of quality, El Salvador should get through, but I think this group is still very wide open. It's left to be seen. It is going to be an exciting one.
It is.
Yeah. So we will definitely come back to talk about this one, because this is just like a preview, a build up to what's happening this month in June in terms of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. And I just love this World Cup qualifying thing, man. You know what I mean? Most people don't really know what's going on because they mainly wait until the final tournament, which will be held in Qatar, to really start paying attention to the World Cup. But guys like you and me, we like the stuff that nobody really pays attention to. And when I say nobody, I'm not talking about you guys watching this right now. I'm talking about the masses, basically. So we're going to move on to Group B, Football Pharoah, which is one of the most, riveting groups right about now because of the clash that's coming up between Suriname and Canada. So in this group, there's Canada, Suriname, Bermuda, Aruba, and the Cayman Islands. So as you can see, Canada and Suriname, they're on top of the group right now with goal difference. Canada with a plus 15 goal difference after smashing up the Cayman Islands on top. That would help them tremendously if there is to be a tiebreaker, which I think goal difference is the tiebreaker, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. It's a part. Yeah, it is because Aruba, Cayman Islands -11, -14, and I think the only two teams alive in this group is Suriname and Canada. So in terms of the games played so far in Group B, Suriname 3, Cayman Islands 0, Canada 5, Bermuda 1, Suriname 6, Aruba 0, Canada 11. Yes, you heard it right. Cayman Islands 0. I predicted this. Bermuda 5, Aruba nil, and those are the completed matches. So we have Cayman Islands coming up against Aruba, two teams that has been battered so far in the group. Suriname against Bermuda. That would be a very interesting one because Bermuda is a decent outfit, but I do think Suriname has the quality right now in
Mm-hmm.
terms of all these guys they call up, all these guys based in the Netherlands that they call up to the national team. That has been a big topic lately. Aruba versus Canada. Canada will smash Aruba. So you're gonna see Suriname beat Bermuda, I think, and then Canada beat Aruba, and then they would be on 9 points going into the final game where they play each other. But Canada, I think, would still have the best advantage, and they could look to a draw would be good enough for Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Bermuda play Cayman Islands, and the big one, Canada versus Suriname. So who did you have coming out of this group?
I think it would take a madman to not have picked Canada before the draw came out, and I think it takes somewhat of a crazy person to not pick Canada now that we're halfway through this group. Um, yeah, I had Canada coming through. I still expect them. Like you said, I think they're going to put a beating on Aruba. The last match against Suriname will be interesting, especially if Suriname beats Bermuda, which I think that's going to be a little bit of a tough game because Bermuda can be a tricky side. They were in the last Gold Cup. I think they even picked up a victory in the group stages, didn't they?
Yeah, they were good.
So Suriname has to be a little bit careful with Bermuda. They wouldn't be mathematically out if they were to like say draw, but that means they would absolutely have to beat Canada in order to come through.
Yeah.
So that final match day with Canada and Suriname is going to be very interesting because technically Canada would be in an elimination position if they were to somehow mess that up and lose it. So, but yeah,
I
I think Canada's going to win.
yeah, the only talking point in this group right now is Canada versus Suriname. The other teams they not even Bermuda. I don't think they even worth being talked about right about now. This game coming up against Canada against Suriname June 8th. This
Hmm.
game would be a big game. This is a big game. This it says Toyota Park Bridgeview. I don't. It says Canada supposed to be the host. I don't know where this game is being played, but most likely it will be in Canada. And I think the quality of the Canadian team would actually be the difference here. And I know the Surinamese fans would, beg to differ. And they would say, yeah, don't underestimate Suriname and this, that. You see what I mean?
Hmm.
But to be honest here, I think it's a little too early
Yes.
to really jump on this Suriname bandwagon. The team needs to gel. I know there's been a lot of quality Dutch players that come into the 11 and everything, come into the squad, but these guys haven't really played a lot with each other. I think the fans are just excited and they put in that unnecessary pressure on the team like the first time. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I don't think that is fair to the players. Canada, this bunch of players has been together under John Herdman for a while, and look what Alfonso Davies have been doing. Champions League winner with Bayern Munich, won the league every season he's been there so far. Jonathan David transferred to Lille, won the league ahead of PSG, and the other players in the squad are very very solid as well. But those two are the ones that stand out the most, and I think it will be tough for Suriname to deal with these guys. Seriously.
Yeah, I think you said it really well. There's a lot of inexperience going on here. They just made it back to the Gold Cup for the first time in a couple of decades, I think, Suriname. So people, I understand, the fans are excited about what this squad can do, but let's wait and see what they do in the Gold Cup, and let's see how they can build on that once the tournament is over, how well they do there. It just feels like us one cycle too early as far as World Cup qualifying goes. It would be a massive, massive result if they were to somehow pip Canada and get
Yeah.
to the next round, but it's very hard to see. And from Canada's perspective, if they were to somehow not make it through, that'd be a total disaster.
Yeah, I was just thinking that we picking Canada to go through. We should not. We should also mention that there's a possibility that Suriname could pull the upset here. It is a possibility that they could definitely pull the upset. But Canada does have the advantage because they do play Aruba, and I know they would spank Aruba. And we also don't know what Suriname will do against, Bermuda here.
Right.
So, but it will be difficult for them to catch Canada in terms of goal difference. So the game between Suriname and Canada is a must-win game for Suriname. I think a draw won't be good enough. A draw would be a big achievement, but they have to win the game.
Yeah.
That is the only way. Yeah, that is the only way they go through, by winning this game.
Yeah, either way you slice it, whether they beat Bermuda or drop points, they likely have to win that last match against Canada. Mathematically speaking, they have to win it.
Definitely. So that's that for Group B. And I did pick Canada to go through. Suriname second. Bermuda third. Aruba fourth. And the Cayman Islands fifth.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, the winner of this group will face the winner of Group E that we'll get to, and we'll talk about the potential matchups in the next round as well. So let us move on to Group C. Guys, are you with us? If you have predictions, please drop them in the comment section down below. We'll definitely appreciate your participation. So, look, Group C, we got Curacao on top with 6 points, Guatemala second with 6 points, St. Vincent on the Grenadines with 3 points. That's my country. So shout outs to any Vinci watching this right about now. Cuba in fourth without a point, and the British Virgin Islands at the bottom without a point. Results so far in this group: Guatemala 1, Cuba 0, Curacao 5, St. Vincent and the Grenadines 0, Guatemala 3, British Virgin Islands 0, Curacao 2, Cuba 1. Oh, that's kind of close. St. Vincent 3, British Virgin Islands 0. And the games to come in this group are Cuba versus British Virgin Islands, Guatemala versus St. Vincent and the Grenadines, San Vicente, for anybody Spanish watching this, British Virgin Islands versus Curacao, St. Vincent versus Cuba, and the big one on June 8th, Curacao versus Guatemala. Thoughts on this group? Initial thoughts on this group, football Pharoah.
From before any games were played, I think I had Curacao topping it. They're very serious about making it to the octagonal under their manager Gus Hiddink. He took over the reins from Remco Bicentini, the manager that brought them to the quarterfinals of the last Gold Cup. You probably remember.
Yes,
it's a big project they're undergoing. They're a developing squad. They're one of the most vastly improved teams in the entire Caribbean in the last few years. I still think they're favorites to come top of this group. But since the beginning, I am a little bit weary of that last match day against Guatemala. I think they have to be a little bit careful here because Guatemala, they're stubborn Central American side. They feel like they have a lot to prove after coming back from their FIFA suspension. Remember in the last CONCACAF Nations League, they steamrolled their group to get promoted to League B where they belong. So that last match day, and now that we're talking about last match days, you notice how like all these groups so far, some of the most important games happen to be the last match day. It seems like it's almost scheduled that way on purpose. I think it's going to come down to that last match day because I think Guatemala will likely beat St. Vincent.
Maybe. But looking at the Vinci Heat squad, they have called up a lot of youngsters though. A lot of youngsters. I even know this kid, right? I think his name is Ted Roberts. I know his dad very well. And I was surprised. I remember when he was a little boy, and I'm like, whoa, he made it? I actually know his sisters and everything. And I'm like, he's part of the squad? I'm like, he must have, came a long way. And not to pick on you, Ted, or anything, or anybody on the team, but it just looks like this team needs a lot more time to gel. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe with the right person at the helm coaching the team, there's potential. But right about now, St. Vincent has a very long way to go. I think they went backwards from the 2018 World Cup qualifiers where they got really far in terms of playing against the USA, playing against Trinidad and Tobago. They made the round just before the Hex, which was not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think, it's between Curacao and Guatemala here. So just to take a look at the fixtures once again, that's coming up in June. Cuba, they should beat the Virgin Islands. Guatemala, I think they should beat St. Vincent. They will be at home. And the British Virgin Islands should get battered by Curacao. So Guatemala and Curacao should go into the final match day level on points, with that game between the two teams being a potential playoff for the next round. But let's say things does not work out in Guatemala's favor, and let's say St. Vincent picks up a win against Guatemala and St. Vincent pick up a win against Cuba, then they could put themselves in a very, very good position where anything happens in that final game between Guatemala and Curacao, they could squeeze in, because 6 points from the final two games would take them to 9 points. The only problem would be goal difference. They would need to score a lot of goals, but not like if Curacao has like a tremendous amount of goals. They only have a +6 goal difference. I still do fancy Curacao and their quality. The Martina and what's his name again? God, Leandro Bacuna and his brother Juninho. They have, Eloy Room in goal. Yeah, so they do have the quality, man. They do have the quality to come through, and they have been calling up a few more Netherlands-based players as well. So I think it will be Curacao. But as we know, anything could happen. Football is a funny game. We don't know. Curacao could go out there, and who knows? They could. You never know. They could go and drop. I don't think it would happen, but they could drop points against the British Virgin Islands. So from what I'm seeing here, though, the games will be played in Guatemala City here between Curacao and British Virgin Islands. And the Guatemala St. Vincent game will be played there. And the Cuba British Virgin Islands game will be played in Guatemala City, while St. Vincent will host Cuba in Grenada. But the Curacao-Guatemala game will be played in Curacao. So because of COVID and because of the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent, those home games for St. Vincent has been, kind of moved, because they did play the match against British Virgin Islands in Curacao. So you also have to factor in the whole COVID thing, because that has really, really messed things up this time around.
For sure.
So final thoughts on this group before we move on to Group D.
Because Curacao have a game against the British Virgin Islands yet to come, and they should rack up the score on them, it's looking likelier than not that they'll only need a draw in that final game against Guatemala, which in this group they're already the better team. So on top of only probably needing a point, that puts them in the driver's seat. So yeah, final thought is Curacao should finish on top, but I wouldn't be surprised if Guatemala pips them on the final day.
Yeah, and St. Vincent with an outside chance, but the fact that they lost one game, I don't think that is going to happen. So let's move on to Group D, where we have the Dominican Republic topping this group so far. What a surprise. Panama second, 6 points. Barbados third, 3 points. Dominica fourth without a point. And Anguilla at the bottom. You like to say Anguilla.
It's Anguilla, isn't it?
Yeah, Anguilla. Anguilla would be if it's Spanish, but it's not. So it's Anguilla at the bottom. So matches so far in this group. The Dominica derby between the Dominican Republic and Dominica. And my name is also Dominic, so it feels good talking about these teams. 1-0 for DR. Big victory for DR. Panama 1, Barbados 0. Then you have DR 6, Anguilla nil,
Mhm.
Panama 2, Dominica 1, Barbados
Wow.
1, Anguilla nil. And in June, we'll have Dominica playing Anguilla, Dominican Republic playing against Barbados, Anguilla against Panama, and what could potentially be a final, Panama versus Dominican Republic, and lastly, Barbados versus Dominica. What are your thoughts so far? This is a juicy group here where we have a dark horse.
Yes, indeed. This is my second favorite of the six groups, after Group F, as we'll figure out. I'll tell you why in a moment when we get there. But yeah, Panama's been very underwhelming so far. I don't know if they've just been fielding second or third string sides, or if they've been not taking the competition seriously, but they've been doing the bare minimum to get by. In both the games against Barbados and Dominica, they needed late goals to win them. I think against Barbados, they won in the 82nd minute. Dominica actually equalized against Panama late on as well before Panama got a winner a few minutes after that. That was like in the 85th or 86th minute of that
Yeah,
match.
yeah. 80. Dominica got an 82nd minute equalizer, and then Fajardo in the 85th minute to scrape a win.
Right.
Mm,
So this group is interesting because if Panama beats Anguilla, which they should, and they should do it handily, otherwise they don't deserve to come through this group. Uh, and if the Dominican Republic beats Barbados, that could be a potential banana peel there, tricky game. But if they were to do
yeah,
that, you have for the first time, we talked about the other three groups before this, you have the seeded team who heads into the final game likely needing a win.
yeah.
So, like you said, that could be a final, basically.
Because June 8th would be the final two games in this group. I think it's going to come down to this game between Panama and the DR. Right about now, I do have Panama coming in first. But the thing is, the Dominican Republic here, who has a very good record from what I checked against the other teams in the group, and it's proven to, to be so. They do have it. I have them coming in second, but because of Panama's lackluster form as of late, where they have seemingly regressed since 2018 World Cup after they made their debut, they haven't been really being able to build on the squad, build on the achievement. They're always switching coaches, and it seems like it's just chaos in Panama, in the Panama Football Association. So it could actually be costly for them because you come up against Anguilla. It will be played in Panama City, so they better freaking win the game.
Mm-hmm.
They better not. If they drop points, it's gonna definitely require a win against the DR. But I won't take my eyes off DR right now. I think they'll beat Barbados. I think Panama will beat Anguilla, and the final game between Panama and the DR would require Panama to win because right about now, Dominican Republic has a better goal difference. So we could see a big upset in this group. And the winner will play the top team from Group C, where we are picking Curacao. So it's either gonna be Panama versus Curacao or DR versus Curacao or Guatemala. So it's gonna be really, really interesting here in Group D. Anything else to add here?
Yeah. I just punched in some numbers here on the calculator, and that
Mm,
if the DR beats Barbados, the only way Panama will not have to beat them on the final match day is if they beat Anguilla by at least 3 or 4 goals more than what the Dominican Republic beat Barbados by, which is
yeah,
possible. Anguilla is the weak link in this group, but like you said, based on what we've seen so far from Panama, there's nothing really that inspires confidence. Hopefully, though, in their case at least, the saving grace for them is that there's been a 3 month gap in between these games. So maybe they'll show that they've gotten their shit together during this international break.
yeah,
But if they go into that final match having to beat Dominican Republic, that we could be seeing something very special here. And if Curacao wins their group next to them, you have another guaranteed Caribbean side in the octagonal. if it comes down between
Yeah,
Curacao and the
and
DR.
the beauty about it for Panama, they will be at home for both games, so they do have an advantage here. So I think I think it will be Panama. And if it's not Panama, that would be really, really, really disappointing because of a team that made it to the last World Cup. They made it to the last World Cup
Yep.
and not even make it to the octagonal, not even make it to the second round. That would be very, very disappointing.
Yeah. But like you, I also think Panama will do just about enough to come through. It might be very tight though, but I think they'll top this group still.
Definitely. So, guys, are you with us? Let us know your predictions for every group in the comment section down below. So, Group E, where we have Nicaragua, Belize, Haiti, St. Lucia, who have withdrawn from World Cup qualifiers for reasons unknown, even by the players, from what I understand, and the Turks and Caicos at the bottom. But it's really supposed to be St. Lucia down at the bottom since they basically have withdrawn. What have been is there anything that said the games for St. Lucia will be awarded wins for the teams? Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't. I haven't heard that. I think that didn't they withdraw before the first game was kicked off?
I
So
think so. So it might end up being that it's just a 4 team group.
yeah, and there's no like awarding of anything. It's just not counting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't want to go and give Belize a 3-0 win, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or Turks and Caicos a 3-0 win here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you would just want to leave it the way it is, but there's nothing really conclusive on that, so we don't know. If you know anything on that, just let us know in the comment section down below. Did you hear about the situation that happened to the Belize team when they went to Haiti?
No, I didn't. What happened?
That some Haitian gangsters had stuck up the bus, the team bus, and police had to get involved and to get
Oh.
things. Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
That
hear about that.
yeah, that must have been scary.
Yeah. That's
Must
something similar happened. Well, even like deadlier than that. During the African Cup of Nations, I think about 10 years ago. I think it was in Angola. The Togo team bus some um, some like radical militia group from some province of Angola that was trying to become independent. I think
yeah.
like shot up the Togo team bus, and I think a couple players got injured or died or something like that.
Yeah, I think I could vaguely remember that. But in Group E so far, not a lot of games. We had Haiti beating Belize 2-0. Nicaragua beating Turks and Caicos 7-0. Belize beating Turks and Caicos 5-0. And those are the only 3 games we had so far in the group. And in June, we have Nicaragua playing Belize, Turks and Caicos playing Haiti, Haiti playing Nicaragua. So the St. Lucian games are not factored in. So 3 matches left. The Nicaragua Belize game. Well, all the games are important, but right about now, Nicaragua they have to beat Belize. Haiti will beat Turks and Caicos. So Haiti looks like the favorites going into the final game where they play Nicaragua. So the game between Nicaragua and Belize, where both teams are actually tied on the same amount of points, would be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I think I fancy the Haiti Nicaragua clash on the final day to determine who ultimately comes through Group E. And from what my notes say, and from my assessment of what's going on right now in the group, I do have Haiti coming through. And they will face the winner of Group B if they do ultimately come through on top of the group. I have Nicaragua second, Belize third. I did have St. Lucia fourth, but because they dropped out, they will now place last, and the Turks and Caicos fifth. What are your thoughts going into this one?
Our CONCACAF overlords, they knew everything that was going to happen beforehand. They knew all these final match days would be the juiciest games. Or maybe CONCACAF, they just know it's fairly predictable region. Yeah, Haiti should top this group. They should get max points. They should get 9. They should uh, take the Turks and Caicos to school and back, in all honesty. And they should beat Nicaragua on that final day. Nicaragua have to try not to slip up against Belize. That could be like, a little bit of a difficult game, but they should win that. They're not really that strong of a footballing nation. I think Nicaragua is the only country in Central America where it's not the main sport. Don't quote me on that. I think it might be baseball or something.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Nicaragua. Most people in the world don't even know a country by the name of Nicaragua exists.
There
And
you go.
if you're from Nicaragua, it is the truth because much people do not know that there's a country named Nicaragua. So you could put yourself on a map here by beating Haiti and going through to the next round to face the winner of Group B, where we actually picked from Group B. We could be looking at a Canada, Haiti versus Canada, or a Suriname. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a very good one. I from what my predictions are, it will be Haiti Canada again, where Haiti miraculously did beat Canada in the last Gold Cup. It was an epic game, epic comeback by the Haitian team, and it's one of the most memorable Gold Cup games of all time. Emmanuel Sanon would have been happy from his grave. So, any more thoughts on this group, though? I do think Haiti would come through here. They have the quality. They did change managers. I realize they did change. It's not Mark Collat is not in charge of the team no more. They did change managers. I can't really let me just do a quick search, but I don't know the manager, but I do know that they changed manager, so that could have some type of bearing on their squad. His name is actually Jean-Jacques Pierre. He's 40 years old, and maybe he was a former player. I do not know this guy, but he is the current manager right now. So he used to play in France. He used to play in France for Angers and Paris FC, and he is a French citizen, so maybe there's some quality there.
Only thing I'll say left is there's a little bit of history between Haiti and Nicaragua. Nicaragua actually beat Haiti to qualify for the 2017 Gold Cup. That was actually a crazy two-legged tie because I think Nicaragua overturned like a 3-1 deficit in the first leg. And they played Haiti at home. They scored 3 goals in the span of just a few minutes. And then a couple years later, they were in the same group in the Gold Cup, and Haiti beat them. So this will be like yet another meeting between them.
So their record against Nicaragua, 4 games, 3 wins, and a loss. So they do have a good record against Nicaragua, with the exception of that loss in the Gold Cup playoff where they lost 3-0, but won the second leg 3-1, but because Nicaragua scored that goal, it allowed Nicaragua to get into that Gold Cup. So yeah. I could remember this story. I remember you talking about this before. So there is a lot of history there, but Haiti do have the advantage where previously they were unbeaten against Nicaragua, beating them 2-0 in both of the games. So I do still fancy the Haitian team going into this one, though.
Same.
Dawkins Nazan, man, what a player!
Is Francis Perot still in the squad?
I'm not too familiar with the situation of the squad right now.
Okay.
But I think they still have a very, very, very good squad with Johnny Placide in goal. He's still only 33 years old. There's a lot of quality. Mishak Jerome, you know what I'm saying? They still have a lot of continuity in their team. Collins, Arcus, there's some quality there. And, Brian Alcius is a very, very good midfielder. Mustivar. Derek Etienne. There's some quality in this team, man. And I think the quality will prevail in the end. Francie Perrot, Dawkins Nazan, Steven Saba is quality. So I do think they will come through. Sorry to the Nicaraguan fans. I don't think you will be so lucky this time
Also,
around.
like a fun fact, a couple of Haitian clubs have actually had success the last couple of seasons in the CONCACAF Champions League. They sent one of their teams this season to the round of 16, the CONCACAF Champions League. I think the club's called Arkai FC, and
Hmm.
then another Haitian club just a few weeks ago named Cavalli. They won the Caribbean Club Championship, so they're going to play in next year's CONCACAF Champions League. So
Awesome. I was actually following that from the start because a St. Vincent club by the name of Hope International was actually at that tournament, but I kind of fell by the wayside in terms of my following of that tournament. So we're going to move right on to Group F, which is the final group where we have St. Kitts and Nevis currently topping that group. Trinidad and Tobago coming in second right now with fourth. Guyana third with, well, Trinidad and Tobago second with 4 points. Guyana third with 3 points. Puerto Rico fourth with one. And Bahamas fifth without a point. As for the game so far, St. Kitts and Nevis beating Puerto Rico 1-0. Trinidad beating Guyana 3-0. St. Kitts and Nevis beating Bahamas 4-0. And the shock result of this group is Puerto Rico earning a 1-1 draw against Trinidad and Tobago. And then Guyana beating the Bahamas 4-0. In June, we'll have Puerto Rico playing the Bahamas, St. Kitts and Nevis playing Guyana, Bahamas playing Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana playing Puerto Rico, and Trinidad and Tobago versus St. Kitts and Nevis, which could end up being a playoff, the game that determines who goes through. But right now, St. Kitts and Nevis have done well for themselves, beating both Bahamas and Puerto Rico. And the games left in this group for them is against Guyana and against Trinidad and Tobago. And we could see something special happening here for the small island, the twin island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis. What are your thoughts?
So this is my favorite group, the one that I was alluding to earlier. I ran through different permutations for this. This is wide open. It's probably a three-way race. I think Guyana are still in with a decent shot as well. I don't know what's going to happen. It's the most difficult group to predict in terms of how it's going to end up. Trinidad and Tobago, you and I talked about this on text a couple of days ago. They're struggling mightily lately.
Yeah.
They got that win at home against Guyana. It was a convincing win, so good for them. But they should be beating sides like Puerto Rico, and even if that game is on the road. And now, the thing going for them is that they have a game against Bahamas coming up. They have to win that match, and also St. Kitts and versus Guyana. Hopefully for their case, they'll pick points off each other. The best result for Trinidad there would be a draw.
Yeah.
But like you said, St. Kitts, they're off to a great start. 6 points from 2 wins. I think there's a caveat there, though. The 2 wins they got were against the 2 weaker sides in the group. So
Yeah.
we'll really see what they're made of when they come up against Guyana and Trinidad. If they can beat Guyana, they go to 9 points. Let's see here. Trinidad, let's say Trinidad beats Bahamas.
That I
Then,
think I think Trinidad should beat Bahamas, right? But
yeah, they
then you
should.
have to also look at the Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico should beat Bahamas as well.
Mhm.
And the Puerto Rico Guyana game, we don't know where that one is gonna go. Seeing that Puerto Rico were able to get a point off Trinidad and Tobago, which means they're good enough to get even a win against Guyana. No disrespect to Guyana, but they're not the best team.
Mhm.
They have been a little promising as of late, but they're not the best team based on, and you could see evidently the results in the group so far. I thought they would have actually put up a better challenge against Trinidad and Tobago, but they didn't. So this group is still wide open, but the St. Kitts and Nevis Guyana game, as you mentioned, is a key game, pivotal clash, but it will be at Warner Park in Basseterre, St. Kitts and Nevis, where they have the home advantage there. And then on the final day, regardless to what happened in that game, they still have a chance to top the group ahead of Trinidad and Tobago by beating them.
Mhm.
So I think the ball is in St. Kitts and Nevis's court here. And with Trinidad picking up that draw against Puerto Rico, it could actually come back to haunt them. So yeah.
What we could do to make this really juicy, do you want to go ahead and predict all the individual games left in this group? There's only 5.
Well, initially, just before I do that, initially I did pick Trinidad and Tobago to come through here. I did pick Guyana second, St. Kitts third, Bahamas fourth, and Puerto Rico fifth. It's not gonna end up that way. I think Puerto Rico will beat Bahamas.
Agreed.
Bahamas will end up without any points in this group unless they manage to pick up one against TNT. Because we see they it seems like they're in the business of giving away points. The game between St. Kitts and Nevis and Guyana, I don't think St. Kitts would lose this game. I'm gonna go for a draw here. That's gonna make the group a little bit more juicy. I'm gonna say a 1-1 draw. St. Kitts, Guyana, which means Trinidad would have a sniff. So St. Kitts would go up to 7 points. Trinidad would still be on 4. But when Trinidad plays the Bahamas and beat them, they will go up to 7 points, tied on points with St. Kitts and Nevis. But I do think that they do have a chance to surpass them in terms of goal difference.
Goal differential, yep.
But Trinidad has to win the game handsomely. So there is where it could be wide open in the group. They could go back on top, but they would be level on points with St. Kitts, right? So I do think Trinidad will beat the Bahamas. The Guyana-Puerto Rico game could go anyway, but for this one, I think Guyana will pick up a win here. And when Guyana picks up a win in this one, Guyana would also be on 7 points because I'm picking a draw against St. Kitts. So it would be 7 points going into it would be 7 points per team, but Guyana would have already played all their matches, right?
Yeah.
So I do think they would be at a disadvantage, seeing that their goal difference would be a bit low. And they would be have a worse goal difference than both Trinidad and St. Kitts. So they would be eliminated. And I think it will be the game between Trinidad and St. Kitts and Nevis, where a draw may favor Trinidad at that point. The game will be played on neutral ground in Santo Domingo, and we could see a situation where it goes down to the wire here. And I fancy Trinidad to come through still, but I have to say, we could see a situation where St. Kitts comes through and actually pip Trinidad and Tobago to that spot to cap off a very disappointing 2022 World Cup qualifying campaign.
That was a great analysis there. I pretty much agree with all the individual game predictions you gave. I think Bahamas are going to finish bottom with no points. Puerto Rico, they will feel like they can go ahead and get that win on them. I think they will. Also have a feeling that St. Kitts and Guyana game is going to end in a stalemate because of how high stakes it is and how both teams may end up canceling each other out because they'll know that it's a very important game. Trinidad, they'll beat Bahamas unless something is very wrong. I also, like you said, I have Guyana beating Puerto Rico, and Guyana might be out at that point because, like you said, even if those top 3 sides are level on 7 points each, they'll have played all their games at that point and have a considerably worse goal differential. So now that you mention it, it's looking like the only chance Guyana have to come through is if they win both of those games and win both of them kind of handsomely. But I will say it'll be very interesting if St. Kitts can get a win in Basseterre against Guyana, because if they do and Trinidad beats Bahamas, Trinidad still has to win that final day because St. Kitts will be on top of the table with 9 points to Trinidad's 7. So that would be a must win for Trinidad. And much like the Panama Dominican Republic game, this will be a must win for the big team in this group. But to be honest, I know it's not a fun prediction. I think Trinidad's going to win both the remaining games. I think.
But remember what you told me in that voice note about the current Trinidad squad that you saw that they call up, and there could
Right.
be a lack of quality in that squad as well. Remember, for St. Kitts, I am not sure if Romaine Sawyers of West Bromwich Albion featured so far. I don't think. The last time I checked, yeah, I'm checking right now, he didn't feature. I'm not sure if he will feature, seeing that it goes down to the wire here to just add some quality to the St. Kitts and Nevis team. I hope he does to make things a bit more interesting. But let's just say that it's Trinidad's to lose. But it's very disappointing that they have to be fighting so hard to actually get out of a group with minnows,
Yeah.
basically. So that would basically cap off all the groups for the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers for 2022 World Cup. There is a playoff round after this is over. I would like to just touch on that briefly before we move on to the CONCACAF Nations League matches that's coming up, the finals, and we could reveal who we think is going to win that one.
Mhm.
Who do you have in your second round playoff? Because for me, I have Trinidad and Tobago facing El Salvador. I have Haiti coming up against Canada and Panama coming up against Curacao. Who do you have?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Those were our 6 group winners the last time we touched base, and despite a few quirky results here and there, I think it stayed relatively where it is now. Those are also my 6 group winners, but we'll see if one of the island nations can play spoiler to one of those big teams. But
Yeah.
yes, for now, those are my 6. Yeah,
And what
teams.
I've actually done during my predictions is because we are not sure who's going to make it to the second round. I didn't make any predictions. So what we're going to do, we're just going to leave it the way it is, and we won't be talking about the potential matchups, like, because we could be basically wasting our time here. You see what I'm saying? But all I know, if we have a Haiti versus Canada, that's going to be a great match. Curacao versus Panama, that'll be another good one. And Trinidad and Tobago versus El Salvador would be a very tricky one because Trinidad has not been playing well, and El Salvador could seize the opportunity and actually make it to the octagonal. So thank you very much. That was a very, very good discussion on the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, the first round, where not a lot of people are actually discussing this, but you and I are actually geeks. So here we are doing this. So what we got to talk about is the CONCACAF Nations League.
Oh boy.
So just let me know your thoughts on what's happened so far while I gather my notes and we transition to over into this other segment here.
Thoughts on what?
The CONCACAF Nations League, the first one, inaugural CONCACAF Nations League.
The semifinals coming up this week.
No, just at a whole,
Oh,
the you know.
great idea. I think it was smart of them to follow UEFA's decision there because a lot of CONCACAF members don't play very many international games, so squaring teams on a similar level to each other with a incentive of promotion to play against better teams, I think it's wonderful. If any region in the world desperately needed a Nations League, I think it's CONCACAF. Um, it's good that the likes of Anguilla and the Virgin Islands and Turks and Caicos and St. Lucia are getting more games to play. And in the first season of the Nations League, we saw a few number of upsets. For the most part, it was predictable, but we saw a good number of upsets. We saw, Grenada doing well. We saw Curacao staying alive. We in League A. Um, we saw Barbados and Guadeloupe coming out of League C into League B. That was pretty cool. I think it's good. I think overall, the Nations League for a region like this is a very good thing. And
Well said, well
the
said.
next
I
see,
do echo your thoughts because it was necessary to make give the matches a bit more significance. I know this might be a bit small to read, but I don't know why they made the stuff so small. But but let me see if I could get this a little bigger. Yeah. I do. Yeah, okay, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. You see it? Yeah. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. So we're just gonna go through the groups really quick, and then we get to the final round, and we're gonna touch on that. So we have League C. Start from League C, where we have Barbados topping Group A, Cayman Islands coming in second, but which means Barbados go up to League. Well, we're talking about League C, so Barbados will move up to League B from topping their group. So the way it works, if you top your group in League C, you move up to League B, and whoever comes in last in their respective groups in League B goes down to League C. So it's a relegation promotion system based on your position in each group. So the winners of the groups in League B would then move up to League A, and the last place teams in League A will go down to League B, and that's what makes it very fun and competitive. So we have St. Martin coming in third, and as you can see, these groups are very competitive because it was very close here with 9 points, and the U.S. Virgin Islands at the bottom with 3 points. We have Group B, which only had 3 teams. Bahamas topping that group ahead of Bonaire with 7 points, and British Virgin Islands without a point. Group C, Guatemala, who was put in there because they were on a ban, as we talked about earlier. They topped that group easily, scoring 25 goals, not conceding a single one against Puerto Rico and Anguilla, who, Puerto Rico did pick up 6 points against their games against Anguilla. And Group D, Guadeloupe, who unfortunately we did not talk about because they do not participate in World Cup qualifiers because they're not a FIFA nations, which is sad, right?
Very sad.
Martinique as well, who we'll get to very soon. So Guadeloupe would move up to League B. Turks and Caicos would stay with 6 points, and St. Martin would remain in League C as well.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is.
Because Martinique and Guadeloupe, they're better than a good number of sides in CONCACAF.
Definitely. So in League B, Group B, El Salvador topped their group. Where's Group A? where is Group A? You realize that what happened? What happened here? So, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
I think there's some type of glitch here, but I do have the notes. I do have the notes here in League B. This is crazy. this is crazy. Where is Group A?
If push comes to shove, I think I remember what Group A was off the top of my head. I think it was Grenada on top. And then they finished ahead of French Guiana, who came in second. And I think third was Belize, and then St. Kitts was relegated in fourth.
Okay, so yeah, Grenada definitely topped their group from my notes from Group A. So I don't know.
Points.
Yeah, that is some type of a glitch here. Sorry guys, it's not my fault, but this is the official website, for CONCACAF. And they totally, somebody needs to get fired here. I need to, where's the contact button? I need to contact and get somebody fired here. But anyways, I'm only joking. So Grenada topped their group, so they would move up. And who plays bottom of that group?
In League in Group A,
I think Dominica. Yeah, Dominica.
No, Dominica was in the St. Vincent's group.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, St. Kitts were in Grenada.
Yeah. Group. St. Kitts. Yeah. You're right. Thank you very much. That's why we're here, to put two minds together. So, and if someone had done their job, we would not have this confusion right now. So, and the Nations League has been wrapped up a while now, so I don't remember everything. You do. So you're the extraordinaire. You're the CONCACAF extraordinaire. Oh man. So in Group B, El Salvador topped their group. Montserrat coming in second, Dominican Republic third, and St. Lucia fourth. This Nations League also helps us to give us some type of bearing on what these teams are doing and their progress and all of that. You know what I mean? And more competitive games as well. Jamaica, who surprisingly messed up in the qualifiers and ended up in League B, they topped their group, so they would go up to the top tier. Guyana second with 10 points. I think they did drop some points against Guyana. Yeah, they did draw to Guyana, I think, in this group as well. Antigua third with 9 points, and Aruba still struggling without a point here. Group D, Suriname topped the group, 13 points, barely. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, football Pharoah, had a great opportunity to actually win this group and go up to League A, but they lost to Dominica on the final day where Dominica had absolutely no points in the group up until that point. Like, I don't get it.
And you would have qualified for the Gold Cup, too.
Yeah. The second ever qualification for the Gold Cup. You want to know a quick story? I actually got in contact with Ezra Hendrickson through one of my videos that I posted on Facebook. He shared it. So Ezra, if you're watching this, how are you doing? And I saw that he was actually a part of that squad. And that squad was a really, really, really good squad as well. So one ever Gold Cup qualification. I think that was in 96, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right with that one? Was it 96? Yeah. And St. Vincent has never made it back since. It's been, 25 years?
It was such a winnable game, too.
Yeah, man. And they just screwed it up. So Suriname, anybody from Suriname watching this, I told you guys, you have St. Vincent to thank for this one because they give you this place at the Gold Cup as well. So that's it for League B, and we just touch on League A, and then we just transition nicely into the final round. Costa Rica. Well, you see this? What is going on here? It only has it has all the groups. Okay. Let me see if League B. Yeah, League B did definitely messed up and missing the one group, but we got all the groups here.
The US dirty there.
Yeah, they did. The USA topped their group barely on goal difference because of they smashed Cuba. Canada came in second after beating the USA. And I think from my recollection, the USA had to beat Canada in the away leg, in the home leg, in order to actually top this group.
Yes.
And based on the game against Cuba, that I predicted them to destroy Cuba, they had a better goal difference. And Cuba, of course, without a single point. And I think quite a few players defected as well to both Canada and the USA. So in League B, 3 teams per group. Mexico topped the group as predicted, as expected. Panama second and Bermuda third. So Bermuda didn't do such a bad job picking up a draw. Well, they picked up not a draw. They actually picked up a win against Panama here. I think that happened early in the tournament. Honduras. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say Bermuda almost avoided relegation. They were 1-1 with Mexico in Toluca, and Mexico scored a stoppage time goal. And to give you an idea of how dominant Mexico were in that group, Panama and Bermuda lost 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah, crazy. But Bermuda almost scraped through. I think I could vaguely remember that incident, that event. So in Group C, Honduras topped the group with 10 points easily. Martinique second, ahead of Trinidad, who got relegated. That's another disappointing result there, you see. And we were talking about Martinique and Guadeloupe and how good they are, and they're not even FIFA members. I think this needs to change. But because of their dependency on France, they would actually remain non-FIFA members. And I think it'll probably be the best thing to stay attached to France in terms of to help the economy and the country and everything. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, no need to try to be independent when you're not ready to be independent. Because I'm pretty sure, and I noticed, a lot of nations in the Caribbean who are independent weren't even ready to be independent, to be completely real. Some of them, yeah, but not all of them. Group D, Costa Rica topping it. But Group D was very, very close. Curacao second and Haiti third. So, with that being said, the final round, which, where the discussion is going to be based on, we would have Honduras coming up against the USA. It would be at the Empower Field at Mile High, and June 3rd, and Mexico versus Costa Rica. It will be at the same field later on in the evening. So all the games will be played at the same playing field. There will also be a third place match. I don't see it scheduled here, but maybe they eliminated it. I'm not sure. It's not scheduled. It's not on the schedule. Have you heard anything about the third place match?
I heard it's supposed to take place earlier on in the day.
Yeah,
a couple of
but
hours.
I don't see it here. But maybe they didn't put it here because of the bracket that they're using right here, or someone's just not doing their job.
Maybe not.
So, what are your thoughts here? Talk to me. Talk to me. Honduras, USA, Mexico, Costa Rica on U.S. soil, one-off matches in the semifinal. Who do you think are going to go through and meet in the final?
I think the U.S. should come through against Honduras. I was looking at Honduras' squad earlier with the 23-man roster they called up.
Mm-hmm.
They of course have several dangerous players themselves. This guy Albert Ellis,
Mm-hmm.
very dangerous forward, very quick. He has 10 goals for Honduras. I think he plays
And
in the
he's
Portuguese
playing.
league.
Yep.
Minor Figueroa. I mean, he's the captain of the squad. He's a
Veteran.
veteran. Yeah.
165 caps, man.
They even also have a few players that play for a local club in Honduras named Olympia, and
Wait.
they
Go. Wait. I got a surprise for you. Just wait. All right, continue.
You sure?
I got myself an Olympia jersey right here. I'm just going to show you guys. I got the Olympia jersey right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got the Olympia jersey, man. You know what I mean? The Coca-Cola at the bottom, and salva vida. The Honduran flag up right there. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, they called up like about 4 players from that club. They went on a deep run the last CONCACAF Champions League. They got to the semis, and they went out to eventual champions Tigres from Mexico.
So, quick story on how I got this jersey, right? I usually go to Burlington's. And if you guys don't know, if you go to Burlington's and TJ Maxx and Marshalls and those stores sell clothes at a discounted price, you look through the active section and you would actually find football jerseys from maybe last season, some current ones, and I absolutely love it. The last jersey I got, I picked up a Werder Bremen jersey. They just got relegated for the first time since 1982, which is sad. But I got me a nice Werder Bremen jersey, authentic, $7.99. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this was absolutely a find. This was a gem, and since you mentioned Olympia, I'm proud that I have this jersey right now. But
It's a cool logo. Yeah. It's
yeah.
nice coincidence there.
So, in terms of the USA Honduras, I did not take a look at the squad as yet, but I mentioned in my analysis that it would be smart of Honduras to involve a lot of the youngsters that actually participated in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because at the youth level, Honduras is pretty much regularly among the best squads in CONCACAF. They bested us to the Olympics yet again. This is the 4th straight time they're going to the Olympics, and the 3rd straight time we're missing out on the Olympics. There was a stat I saw. It was kind of crazy. Like, I think we missed out on the Olympics to Honduras specifically. Like, we got eliminated to them in the qualifiers in like 3 of the last 4 qualifying cycles. So they know what they're doing at the youth level in Honduras.
But on the senior level, the record isn't that good against the United States
Right.
because, yeah, they're not good in friendlies nor competitively. But a lot of their better results have come on U.S. soil. So this could be work. This could actually work in their favor here, if you understand what I'm saying. So if you go the record 23 from what I'm seeing here, 23 games. They do have 3 wins, 3 draws, but 17 L's.
Right.
So it's not a very good record, and it doesn't give them confidence coming into this one. But because of how well they have done on U.S. soil, considering that few of their wins have came on U.S. soil in competitive games, 3, I think, of 4 of their good results have come on U.S. soil, and they recently pipped the USA to that Olympic spot. They would have the confidence here.
Yeah, I mean they're in with a shout as well. Um, Going back to like that win-loss draw ratio you mentioned. To tell you the
Mm.
truth, and this is not to knock on Honduras at all, but I don't remember the last time we lost to them in a competitive game at a senior international level. Um, they're usually always a very tough team to play, especially on the road when you go like to San Pedro Sula for those World Cup qualifiers. They're known for being one of the most like difficult away games in the region. But for the most part, whether it's Gold Cups or friendlies or what have you, we usually get the better of them. Um, so I do expect us to win this match. Wait, are you? Do you want to do predictions now, or you want to keep
Well,
talking?
I do have predictions. I do have the USA coming through here.
Okay.
I do like the crop of players that Berhalter have in his squad right now. Some very good youngsters. Even though the USA did lose to Switzerland in their last game there, I think Switzerland are a quality team,
Hmm.
and they're a much better team than Honduras. And Honduras have not been at their heights
Oh,
lately.
they've been in a tailspin lately.
Exactly. And I do with a new manager in charge and everything, it could be a problem. It could definitely be a problem for Honduras.
Yeah, if we're going by like performances in recent international tournaments for them, the last two Gold Cups, Honduras have looked very poor. Um, weren't they eliminated before the final match day in the group in the last Gold Cup because they lost to
I
Curacao?
I can't remember exactly what happened at the 2019 Gold Cup, but from what I know, the quality throughout the squad is a bit lacking. That's the problem.
Hmm.
That's where the USA have the advantage here. Quality. And as I always say, quality could be the will most likely be the determining factor in the end here. And I know there's Figueroa and Albert Elise. It would have to be an element of surprise here to catch the US slipping. I just took a look at the squad. I don't see anyone under the age of 21 here. So they pretty much did not really in there's a few youngsters, Rigoberto Rivas. There's a few guys here, but it looks like the majority of the guys are the tried and trusted. There's Edwin Rodriguez, and he's of Olympia.
Hmm.
And there's quite a few Olympian players in the team, but there's not a lot of youngsters to say the US don't really know these youngsters very well, and they could actually pull a surprise here. So I think it's going to be a straightforward one for the US, especially if the likes of Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Yunus
Yep.
Musa coming through. Sebastian Leggett has been playing well lately. Serginho Dest, you have Zach Steffen who would come back in the team. I think the US should. If the US fails to beat Honduras, it would be a disappointing
Hmm.
outing, and it could be a step backwards in terms of progress and teams and that intimidating factor that the US could have going into the octagonal and the Gold Cup.
Going back to Honduras for one moment, did Romel Kyoto get a call up? Because I remember I was looking at a squad list. I don't remember seeing his name.
Mm-mm.
I was
He's not even in the. Yeah, he is in the team. Yes, he is. He
okay. He
is.
is okay.
Yeah, he's a quality player.
All right.
That's some quality there. Albert Elise, Kyoto is a quality player. Captain
Figueroa.
Mano
Yeah.
Figueroa. Brian Acosta is a quality player. He plays for FC Dallas. So there is quality there, but it's not like quality that is all over the field.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the 23-man squad that we called up, I had very few complaints about it. Honestly, I think Berhalter more or less got his selections right. Um, I saw highlights of the game yesterday against Switzerland. Switzerland is they're always like a sort of second tier side in Europe. They're always a decent squad. They're better than the U.S. Actually expected us to lose that game, and from what I saw in the first half, like the U.S. actually had created some really decent goal scoring opportunities. I think we got like 11 shots, 5 of them on target. Gio Reyna actually struck the post in that match. We
To
had an
be honest,
opportunity to equalize.
to be honest, I didn't even know this game was playing right now. Seriously.
Yeah, it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
We took a 1-0 lead through Sebastian Lletget. I think this guy on Switzerland, what's his name? Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He equalized, and then Steven Zuber, I think it was, gave them the winner in midway through the second half. We were a little bit poor in the second half. The first half was way better, but it was not a game that I expected really to get a result from, if I'm being honest.
But to look at this team, right? To look at the squad, you look at the quality.
Oh
Reina,
yes,
Pulisic is in the team. Yunus Musa, he has been on the rise.
Tyler
Timothy
Adams.
Timothy Weah, he has just won the league with Lille. Josh Sargent, he had a good season, even though Werder Bremen got relegated.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Sibachu, he's a quality forward. And it's good that these guys are in the setup. I'm surprised that Daryl DK didn't get called up, though. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, that was one of the things that Berhalter was given criticism for. A few eyebrows were raised with him not selecting DK. I don't remember what the reason was for that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the reason was.
But one bright spot is that Anthony Robinson from Fulham is in the team, so that I've seen Sergino Dest play left back in the game against Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
But DeAndre Yedlin, that's a surprise pick.
I think Berhalter picked him for his experience and leadership in the squad, and also he has moments where he can be his pace can be needed.
But the thing is, not to cut you, but
sure.
When you have Reggie Cannon, Yedlin, and Dest in the team, then you have a headache where I think Berhalter might end up playing Dest at left back and one of Yedlin or Cannon at right back, where I think he should just go in with Anthony Robinson at left back and maybe Dest at right back and not play players out of position. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. And that also throws Reggie Cannon's role into question as well, because he's considered more or less a little bit of a weak link.
Yeah. From what I saw in the game against Jamaica, Reggie Cannon was not the best player on the field.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But in terms of attacking prowess, the USA looks good. In the midfield, very solid with Weston McKennie coming back in. Legit has been the man.
Yes.
Not a high-profile name, but he has been the man. Brendan Aronson, however you say him, and Gio Reyna, these guys, Pulisic, the talisman and everything. John Anthony Brooks with Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg getting back. I think Wolfsburg got back into the Champions League. So,
yes, they did. Yeah, they finished fourth in Bundesliga.
Yeah,
that's right.
So it's testament to how good John Brooks has been. Miazga, he's at Anderlecht, so they came in third. Not a bad season for him. Tim Ream lacking game time with Fulham, but I nevertheless I think that the squad still looks good. Zach Steffen should be the number one. Had a solid season, cup season with Man City. So look, to just cut a long story short here, Football Pharaoh, I'm gonna go for the USA to get the better of Honduras here.
I am too, and I hope this is not my own bias coming through, but I think that the U.S. is a team that always, there's a lot of pressure on this side that always tries to hold itself to a high standard. I think we're going to win this match, and Fingers crossed. Hopefully I don't look foolish. I don't think it's going to be close either. I'm actually predicting a 3-0 win. I think we're going to beat them relatively comfortably.
My prediction for this, I did make a prediction for this one, but I have my stuff all over the place here. I had it just now, but it's like,
It's all good.
yeah, but I am picking the US based on history, and I am picking them based on the fact that they will be at home and based on the quality of the side. But let's not underestimate Honduras here. And we also gonna give them a chance. And I think they could upset the USA. One of their rare wins against the USA. It could happen here.
It could.
You see. But nevertheless, I still think the USA would come through. So let's move on to the next one. Mexico versus Costa Rica. What are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, let me pull up here. Squad selections. Yeah, Costa Rica, they also have gone through a number of managerial changes in the last few years, just like Honduras. And, they kind of continued their old habits of underperforming in regional competitions, like in the last CONCACAF Gold Cup. They're kind of going through the works lately. I think they're a rebuilding squad. I don't really expect them to do much in this competition. If my memory serves me correct, and if I'm wrong, let me know. Keylor Navas is not participating in this Nations League final stages.
Well, I actually expected him to take part because in my video that I made, I had him on the thumbnail and everything. So that's kind of sad that he won't be taking part here.
It is.
And yeah, and from what I check here from the squad that's coming up against Mexico, he is not. And I don't like that about Keylor Navas, to be honest though. He picks and chooses.
Agreed.
Yeah, when he wants to play for Costa Rica. And I do not like that. He always look at the situation where I think he will play in the Gold Cup because the Gold Cup is a month after the French season has been completed. So the thing with Keylor Navas, he likes to say, "Okay, I'm on vacation now. This has come too soon after the season. So I'm on vacation now for June, and then you'll see him coming back in July for the Gold Cup. You just watch and see."
Yeah.
Because he did take part in the Nations League. I could remember him making some big saves against, I think it was a game against Haiti, I think it was against Haiti, where he kept Haiti in the game. If it wasn't for him, Haiti would have beaten Costa Rica. The game was played on neutral ground. I could remember this. And Costa Rica was saved by Keylor Navas because of his involvement in the Nations League. But I think prior to some, he picks and chooses when he wants to play. But with that being said, it gives guys like Esteban Alvarado, who used to play in Turkey at one time, Lionel Moreira, or Patrick Siqueira, who I see is based with Celta Vigo B team. He may not be the keeper, but it gives those guys an opportunity to play for the national team.
Yeah, and also Costa Rica has a few of their regulars that have been called up well. You have guys like Brian Ruiz. You have Kendall Waston. His height at the back on set pieces, he's very prolific for Costa Rica. What position? I think he's a left back.
Well, looking at the squad here right now, I don't see Waston in the team.
Really? I have Wikipedia. Damn, maybe Wikipedia is not updated.
What I'm looking at right now, he's not in the team.
Wow.
So, yeah, for right now, the squad that I'm looking at, he's not in the team. I don't know if this squad is updated, but he is not in this team right now that I'm looking at. So
let's see.
And this team looks pretty up to date though. The team that I'm looking at right now. So if you do a quick search, because I didn't really look at the squads because I made a video before the squads was actually announced.
Let me look this up.
You look Costa Rica squad. But with that being said though, while we're doing that, Mexico. You took a look at the Mexican squad?
Yeah. I'm right here. One moment.
Okay, so
There we
yeah,
go.
I think the squad that I had is the up to date squad because
For Costa Rica.
yeah, I think because they're saying that Luis Diaz, uh a young one of the younger players for Columbus Crew, he got called up. So I think this is the right squad that I have right here. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me.
Francisco Calvo, Ronald Matarita and Alan
Yeah,
Cruz. Yeah, I think the squad that I have right here is on point here.
yeah. I'm
So
going to CONCACAF's website right now for
so
the
so I see there's Alan
rankings.
Cruz. There's a lot of quality here, man. There's Celso Bojes, there's Luis Diaz, there's Brian
Is
Ruiz,
Yeah, is Randall Leal
Joel,
there as well?
yeah, Randall Leal.
Yeah.
There's Alonzo Martinez, local base player. Joel Campbell, and he's currently playing in Mexico. Quality. There's a lot of quality in the squad.
I've got it pulled up right now. Yeah, a lot of
Yels, Yel, Yeltsin Tejeda, Brian Oviedo, but no Waston. No Waston. Francisco Calvo, Oscar Duarte, no Waston. Excuse me.
oh, okay, this is what website are you using?
I'm using Transfer Marked,
Huh.
and
I'm looking. Damn,
they have it updated right now.
that's strange. Well, I looked up CONCACAF Nations League squads announcement on
Hmm.
the CONCACAF's website, and Kendall Waston is mentioned here. But maybe
Oh,
that's
okay.
maybe. I mean, your source might be better. I have no idea.
So maybe there's some type of discrepancy, but
Yeah.
irregardless to who plays, it doesn't matter who plays. You
Regardless of
know,
who plays, it's a very
yeah.
domestic-based squad. They got a lot of players there from Saprissa and Alajuelense, two very prominent Costa Rican clubs.
So Mexico just played against Iceland, right? And the squad is up to date. The Mexican squad is up to date right now, where you have guys like Uriel Antuna, Henry Martin, you have Diego Lainez, Jesus Collado, Salcedo, Moreno, Hector Moreno, pretty
Mm-hmm.
Alvarez, Edson Alvarez, Guardado. You have Charlie Rodriguez. It's a very strong team.
Jesus
It's a very
Corona.
Guillermo Ochoa is on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
You have Hector Herrera, Hervin Lozano. So we could already
Uriel
tell,
Antuna.
yeah, we could already tell where Mexico is going here. Mexico are taking this seriously.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to tell you is, never mind the discrepancy in squads and we being unable to get the right squads at this time where we're scrambling because we actually live right now recording, and you understand, and
Yeah, yeah.
we want to keep things flowing. But Costa Rica also has a horrible record against Mexico, where they have played 56 total matches. Mexico with 32 wins, 17 draws. Costa Rica with only 7 wins. And the last time Costa Rica defeated Mexico was back in 2013, where Mexico had a horrible run in World Cup qualifiers where they had to go through the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 8 years that Costa Rica has not beaten Mexico. Why
Mm-hmm.
are we even having this discussion right now? Because
Well,
I know it's a one-off game, but this Mexican team, they just played against Iceland, and they picked up a win here. They scored all 3 goals. You see what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Hervin Lozano with both goals, and
Yep.
the names. You see the names in the team, and I spoke about quality. You see the names of the quality and the continuity of the same bunch of guys playing all the time for Mexico for quite a while. This team knows each other well. They gel well. Costa Rica, not so much, haven't been, very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
They 2014 World Cup they did great, but can't say the same for since then. They haven't been that good since then. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I give I give Costa Rica a shot just because they are part of like I guess you would call like the holy trinity of CONCACAF. They're always there or thereabouts among the top CONCACAF sides. Usually they're the best team in the region after the U.S. and Mexico. They almost regularly make it to the World Cup. They actually played Mexico in a friendly back in March. They narrowly lost that 1-0. And
Yeah.
the last competitive game they played against Mexico, I think, was in the Gold Cup a couple of years ago. That they actually pushed Mexico to penalties in that game. So I think they're in with a chance because, familiar faces. These are teams that are used to coming up against each other. But Mexico, especially under Tata Martino, since he's been in charge, they're the kings of CONCACAF, and they should, on paper, win this tournament, and it's up to anyone else to say otherwise. So if Mexico don't come through at least the semifinal against Costa Rica, they would consider that a big failure. And looking at the guys they've called up for this break, they have every intent on winning it. So, yeah, Mexico should beat Costa Rica.
Yeah, and even when you look at the squad that they played in the friendly, it was a strong team. So right now, Mexico are serious. They're not being complacent whatsoever. And when you talk about continuity again, Tata Martino has been the manager for a while. Ronald Gonzalez, the manager of Costa Rica, 2019. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he has to basically start again and build again after the World Cup. So Mexico always will have the advantage here based on the quality of players they have in the team.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a USA-Mexico final in the inaugural Nations Cup final. And my thoughts, well, my prediction for this one, Mexico to win 3-1 and the USA to beat Honduras 2-1. The third place game between Honduras and Costa Rica, I'm predicting my third place team to be, Costa Rica. I did pick it based on Keylor Navas, but he won't be at the tournament. But I'm still going for a 1-1 draw after extra time. The game to go into penalties. Costa Rica to win 5-4. But sadly, Keylor Navas won't be at the tournament, so there goes that prediction. Who knows what would happen now? Who do you have in third?
So, as far as a prediction for that semi goes, I do think Mexico will come through. I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet. I think they will concede. I'm going to go with a 3-1 victory for Mexico. So that's the same scoreline as you.
Yeah.
I have the U.S. beating Honduras 3-0 convincingly. Putting my chips on the table, optimistic.
Yeah.
And I have Mexico beating Costa Rica 3-1. For third place, maybe you could see Honduras as the strength of their forwards be the big difference in this, and they could maybe eke out a victory against Costa Rica and take third. But that game could go either way, honestly. I'm going to say Costa Rica gets third. As far as a scoreline, I don't really have a scoreline. Maybe like a 1-0 or maybe like a 2-1 for Costa Rica. But
the final.
You go first.
Bro, look, U.S. and Mexico, rich history. From my notes, 74 total games. I'm just giving some context here. Mexico with 40 wins, 14 draws. The USA with 20 wins. The last time the USA beat Mexico in a competitive game was 2013.
Right. Yep. In Columbus.
Mexico are winning this thing. The thing about CONCACAF, it is so easy to predict the winner here. So easy. Mm. It is super easy. Unless Kemal Lawrence scores a wicked free kick and knocks Mexico out, and then it gives USA a chance if they do not meet Mexico in the final. You see what I'm saying? So the only way I think the USA has a chance to win this CONCACAF Nations League final is for Mexico to lose to Costa Rica and the USA to actually beat Costa Rica in the final if they do meet Costa Rica in the final. That's the only way I think the USA are going to win this game. I could be wrong, but that's just my assessment. That's my prediction here. The quality of Mexico, just Mexico just seemed to get the better of the USA more times than not. It would be a very good clash seeing that the USA squad is looking better and better. But I do think the USA squad is so young and is so still very raw. And there's so many players in the team who are like injury prone. The likes of Pulisic, he's always down with some type of niggle. McKennie as well. Tyler Adams always struggling with something. New players being introduced in the team. I don't think the squad have spent enough time together. I still don't think Greg Berhalter knows exactly what he's doing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've heard his speech during the international break there when they were playing Jamaica, and he's talking about how, we want to have separate squads for the Gold Cup and separate squad for the Olympics. Dude, you didn't make it to the Olympics.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the way you talk is like you expected to make it to the Olympics, while what you should have done was to put some of these young guys in the Olympic squad and make sure you qualify. But these guys got it wrong.
Yeah.
The guys in the Olympic squad are not good enough. And they should have put more quality in the Olympic squad and mixed the thing up for the friendly. It's a friendly. Mix it up.
Yeah, the friendly same day we had against Northern Ireland.
Exactly. They got it wrong. You see what I'm saying?
That and Jason Christ is just an awful coach.
Listen, they got it wrong because they overconfident and they underestimate other people based on the fact that it's the USA. Mexico wins it.
So I'm going to give a scoreline prediction. I think it's going to be a close game for the reason that I think the U.S. will feel like, the U.S. does feel like it has to win this. There's a lot of mounting pressure in a way that even I did not anticipate. I thought there would be more pressure on the Gold Cup this year, but apparently the Gold Cup, a lot of squads are sending their B teams because you have World Cup qualifiers taking place right after. And so there's a lot of emphasis and importance on this tournament, this Nations League. But Mexico just look like the more overall more solid team. They've had more international camps, like meetups. They're playing together. These players have more time together. Like you said, I read a stat somewhere. It said that Mexico has met up under Tata Martino somewhere between 18 or 19 times. The U.S. has only met up a handful of times.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's ridiculous. And Mexico under Tata, they're trying to accumulate as many points as they can right now because they're right on the outer edge of the FIFA rankings.
Yeah.
And they have a good opportunity if they play their cards right to be seeded if they make it to Qatar next year. I
think that's why when I said the friendly that they played against Costa Rica, they sent a strong squad.
Yeah.
They mean business. They are learning from the past where when you see Mexico send experimental teams, that's when you give other sides a chance. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I think in that Gold Cup where Jamaica did beat Mexico, that was an experimental squad that Mexico sent.
They did. Yeah, that was in 2017.
Exactly. They sent an experimental squad and they got undone by the quality there of Jamaica. And I think they don't want to make that mistake again. And I could see Mexico going on to win this one. So
I will say that I do think the U.S. will put in a much improved performance compared to the last two times we played them, which you remember with the Gold Cup final and that friendly after the Gold Cup where we got battered by them 3-0 and Berhalter was torn to shreds for his playing out the back, his stubbornness, and the way he sets up this squad. I think we're going to be desperate for it, but Mexico just have too much quality. I think this game is going to go to extra time. I have Mexico winning 2-1 in extra time.
My prediction, 2-0, Mexico in normal time. It's a wrap for the U.S. Mexico wins the inaugural CONCACAF Nations League. Football Pharoah, it's been a fun one where we are an hour, 40 minutes. Very good, long video for the people who like long videos like myself. And it's always nice having a chat with you. We got to link back up. We definitely have to link back up at the end of all this to discuss the World Cup qualifying matches as well, and the CONCACAF Nations League. So
we'll talk about the second round once the teams are finalized,
yeah,
and then we'll
yeah.
do the Gold Cup preliminaries later.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a lot to come. There's a lot to come. More collaborations from you and I. This is something that we have been talking about. It's crazy that you and I we met back in 2017 because we both had channels and we were talking about the same stuff, the Gold Cup, World Cup qualifiers and everything. I think we met up for the first time in 2018. We met twice and we haven't seen each other in person since. We got to change that.
Yeah.
We got to change that. But the crazy thing about it that a lot of you guys don't know is Football Fair and I, we have kept in contact for the last 3 years via messages. Football Fair would message me out the blue about something that happened. Just random thoughts. I would message him back. Sometimes we'll have conversations on the phone throughout that time. And we've just kept in contact, you know what I'm saying? And it's good. The chemistry is there. And we have a lot of work to do, bro. We have a lot of things to discuss going forward. We got to give the people what they want. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we talk about a lot of stuff that a lot of other folks won't touch on their channels. So.
Exactly. So, guys, it's been real. Make sure you check out Football Pharaoh's channel in the description box down below. I'm going to leave a link. Make sure subscribe. Tell him I sent you. Dominic, sent you. Subscribe to my channel if you're new and you like this type of stuff. I also cover club football and I cover a lot of things. Football Pharaoh does the same thing as well. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Share it with a friend. And until next time, from Football Pharaoh and myself, would you like to say something? Would you like to say something before I go?
Yeah, thanks for having me on yet again. It's always a pleasure. I love when we go deep into analysis and talking about international football. It's always good to be on the channel. And hopefully we'll have more of these to come, many more in the future. And to everyone watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to Dominic Rich if you haven't done so yet. Check out my channel if you're interested, and let me know what you think. And until then, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.
Peace out, Rich Squad. Peace.